Welcome to another episode of Policy Translated. I'm Greg Konko, a senior fellow at the Competitive Enterprise Institute. Today we'll be talking about healthcare. Unless you've been asleep or out of the country the past few months, you know that President Obama and congressional Democrats are proposing a massive overhaul of America's healthcare system. Americans spend 16% of GDP on healthcare, and high costs are a major reason an estimated 46 million of us don't have health insurance. So what are the Democrats proposing? There are three bills being debated in Congress, each with a mixture of new government-sponsored or government-run insurance plans, new regulations on private health insurers, subsidies for the uninsured to buy healthcare coverage, lower payments for doctors, and dedicated new taxes. But while cost-cutting was the primary rationale for this overhaul, the Democratic-controlled Congressional Budget Office estimates the cheapest plan would cost more than $1 trillion over 10 years, but do nothing to slow the rate of healthcare cost inflation and not substantially reduce the number of uninsured Americans. The bills would, however, mandate exactly what health benefits you'd have to pay for and attempt to control the amount of care doctors provide. Republicans haven't done much better. Although their plan does give people more freedom over where and how they buy insurance, it mostly seems to be a less expensive version of the same added regulations and exorbitant subsidies the Democrats support. Healthcare does need to be reformed, but by and large it's this kind of interference in the market that produced the mess. One major reason for spiraling healthcare costs is the fact that the vast majority of bills are paid by someone other than patients. Government programs like Medicare and Medicaid pay for about 46% of all health expenditures, and the tax benefit for employer-sponsored health insurance and subsequent tax penalty for buying your own means that individuals control only about a fourth of all the money Americans spend on health services. Only 12% of bills are paid out of pocket, so patients and doctors have no incentive to make rational, cost-conscious choices. And frankly, with no demand for cost and quality data, we don't have the information necessary to make those choices even if we wanted to. But that's not all. State and federal regulations already determine the benefits insurance policies must offer, the premiums that can be charged, and who must be covered and how, all of which raise the cost of buying insurance. Benefit mandates raise premiums as much as 50%, depending on the state you live in. Rules that determine how premiums are set raise them by 10 to 30%, and requiring insurers to cover all applicants, regardless of pre-existing conditions, can cause premiums for everyone in a state to more than double. Of course, expanding healthcare coverage to people who need it is an admirable goal. But the massive cost of these rules is one reason why as many as half of those who are currently uninsured choose to go without health coverage, even though they can afford it. More than a third of households without health insurance earn over $50,000 a year. Instead of trillion-dollar plans that add more government control and reduce individual choice, we need to eliminate the distortions that cause 88% of our healthcare dollars to be spent by third parties. We need to shift more control over healthcare spending to individuals and reduce the regulations that mandate what kind of coverage we buy. That would lower premiums substantially and incentivize better decision-making. Then we can think about targeted efforts to help those few of us with chronic pre-existing conditions who find it difficult to get or afford healthcare coverage. And we can do that without distorting the rest of the market in ways that contribute to runaway costs. So that's our discussion of health reform. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and thanks again for watching.